Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lynn Gregorio, and this is Creating Homes, where we give you step-by-step instructions and show you exactly what we do for creating our real estate portfolio, including short-term rentals, long-term rentals, and other real estate projects. Today's episode is going to be about bugs. I am under contract to close on a 3-bedroom, 2,500 square foot cabin in the Smoky Mountains that I will be renting out as a short-term rental. And one of the big things you have to worry about in any short-term rental, but especially when you're in the woods, is bugs and different types of pests. So I called All About Bugs in Tennessee, and I spoke with a gentleman there, and he gave me the rundown on all the different possible things I need to worry about and what the costs associated with that are. Again, these numbers are effective as early January 2023. If you're watching this much later than that, who knows, prices may go up. But I'm going to give you all the costs as of today. Actually, I think it's February 1st, 2023. So the first thing is your regular everyday bugs that can come in. There's certain types of bugs that are excluded. I did not write down what those were, but this needs to be done regardless. They charge $150 for the initial treatment, and then it's $55 a month for them to come back and treat monthly to keep the critters out of your home. And if any of your guests find critters while they're there, they will come back. Either if the guest stays there, the guest has to be in the house. They can't go in the house without the guest there, but they will come back and treat and fix the problem, or they will come in between guests if that's what the guest prefers. The second thing is carpenter bees. Those are those big black, they're kind of scary looking when you don't know too much about them, that fly around, and they have a certain time of year where they tend to swarm. Actually, I guess it's 2 times a year when they swarm. And they drill holes in wood, which of course you have a log cabin, so it's you're going to get holes. And he said the holes, you can't really do anything about that, but you can treat and kill the bees, and more importantly, the larvae they leave inside the holes that they dig. And you don't want to leave the larvae in there, because then woodpeckers can come and peck at your wood to try to get the larvae out, and then you end up with a big mess because the woodpeckers do even more damage. So he says carpenter bees should be handled 2 times a year during the period in which they swarm, and that cost is $95 for each treatment. The next thing we talked about was bed bugs. And I have another short-term rental at the beach. I've had it for 4 years, and I've never had any bed bug problems. I'm going to knock on wood here. Some people don't. Some people don't get issues, but you never know if someone can just bring them in from anywhere. They can just jump on a piece of their clothing, or be in their suitcase from another place that had bugs, and they come into your house, and then that's a nightmare for your guests. So you kind of want to avoid that. But on the other hand, it can be expensive to treat. So you kind of have to weigh, is it worth it to treat it? And or do you want to cross your fingers and hope you don't have them? At the beach house right now, we are crossing our fingers and hoping that we don't get them. I do not know for sure what I will do about this property, but he puts in a proactive bed bug treatment where it goes all around in the crevices in the house where the bed bugs can be in the bedrooms, mostly, I think. And it lasts for 90 days, and the nice thing is it's guaranteed for those 90 days. And I guess if a bed bug comes out, they run their body through it, and then that eventually kills them. But every 90 days, and it's $200 to treat. And that gets quite expensive on top of all the other bug treatments that you're doing. So we will have to weigh that. I will let you decide what we ultimately decide to do. But he also said if you do get bed bugs, then for the size place we have, around 2,500 square feet, it will cost between $3,500 and $4,000 to fumigate. And obviously guests can't come in. You have to cancel bookings during that time. So, to weigh that cost, and, I asked him questions. He said, sometimes he's had people who've had a cabin for 12 years have never had bed bugs, and another person got bed bugs twice in 7 months. So, I guess you just don't know. The next thing we talked about was if I was pet friendly, that we might want to treat the yard for fleas and ticks. And that lasts for 6 months, and it's $75 per quarter acre. We don't have to treat the whole yard, just the fenced-in area. If we decide to do that, it's not going to guarantee that we're not going to get fleas, but it could help. I'm also trying to see if there's a way that I can request maybe vet documents from somebody showing that their dog is on flea and tick preventative. Not sure yet, still working on that. He said if we do get fleas, then it's $250, but it has to be spread out. There has to be 2 treatments over, and that's total for both treatments. It has to be spread out over 14 days because you've got the eggs that have already been laid that will hatch, so it's the only way to eradicate them. The next type of bug we talked about were ladybugs, and I've not yet experienced this. We've had some, I guess, mild swarming around here in our area of North Carolina where we see a bunch of them, but from what I hear in Tennessee, there can be just thousands of them everywhere in the cabin, and to the point where people will warn their guests ahead of time of the ladybug swarming. And he says we won't know if we need treatment until we see whether or not they have been in the cabin and laid their eggs or are hiding and waiting for it to be warm enough to come out. But he says it's usually 3 times a year and about $75 each for each treatment. So a lot of bugs, a lot of money, and we're going to have to narrow down what is the most cost-effective approach. I'd love to hear from anyone who's watched this. If you have a cabin or what you think, please put it in the comments. Do you think we should do the bed bug service for that cost, or do you think we should just roll the dice a little bit? Let me know in the comments here, and please be sure to like and subscribe for more very detailed video content on how to invest in short-term rentals, long-term rentals, and build your wealth portfolio with real estate.